Okay, this is an update for Tuesday. We're heading into the Asian session for Wednesday, so it's still officially Tuesday here, March 6, 2018 in the United States. And what we're looking at right now is the euro yen. So I don't need to switch over. I'll show you that in just a minute, but I don't need to tell you that it's been pretty choppy the last couple of days here, but we'll talk about that in a minute on the smaller time frame. So to get clarity here and try to find a better direction, I'm really going to have to rely on a lot of the information that we see, not only out of the news to give us the next the next trending breakout move, but we need to be aware of what's going on here on the larger time frame. So that's why I'm going to start with the daily charts. Euro yen again, daily time frame, and you'll see a couple of different levels running right through here. What I'm looking at is, and I'm not sure just yet, so please don't immediately say that or think that I'm saying that I'm calling a buy here. So, sorry about that, the pause here. So what we've got this downtrend here. The peak was February 2nd, and we've got a really strong, solid bullish candle here. So I'm looking at a few things technically. Okay, first of all, I'm going to look at everything technically and then try to find and gather economic data, comments, news, anything that would have an impact here on the euro yen in one way or the other, euro or yen. And we've seen just over the last couple of hours, we've seen the market react and the yen has reacted. So this thing's been all over the place, dropping from like a high of 26 down to 7 in just a few, like a minute or two. And that's not, out of the question for it to cover a distance like that. But it's not, I'm not ready yet to get into a trade, but you can see what's going on here. So we've got, it might be a little bit too early, but we've got this cross here of this down trend line. And I've got a new A low, a B high, at least on the smaller time frames. Right now, I don't have enough candles to confirm that this is a definite high set in place just yet. But right now, that's what it looks like. Either way, it still looks like this could be a possible bullish move. Again, I don't have enough data just yet, and that's why I'm watching it really close, and I haven't got into a trade on this one. It's also possible that this could sort of float around here, maybe approaching the 132.18 or 133 area and then pull back down again. And this could turn into the possibility of us trading a IMP bullish bull crown pattern to the upside, where price would move significantly higher, maybe back up to about 135 or 136. Now, again, I am not saying that I know that it's going to 135 or 136 yet, because I don't have enough information just yet. It's just that right now, the way things are sort of lining up, it looks like if you think forward and play this out, that's always the challenge. You can see everything here to the left, but you can't see what's over here on the right until it happens. And you have to imagine these patterns and think about what's going to happen over the next few days or few weeks if there's enough information, whether it's political or economic data, whatever the case. Could that possibly set this up? Either way, we still have to follow along each day. This is a daily chart, so each one of these candles, again, is a daily candle. So this could take some time for the whole thing to develop, but it's just something that looks like it might start to set up. Now, very often I do a lot of work like this technically, and then the whole thing collapses and it just rolls right back down and prints another signal to do something else, to do and trade in the completely opposite direction of what I'm thinking could possibly happen. I'm not going to try and be right here. Again, it's just, these are just some possibilities. I'm setting up my charts technically to just see what could happen over the next couple of days, or what could happen today, for Wednesday. We have this price swing low right here. There's a high and a low and then a pullback and then a move down here lower. That's a support level, and it seems to be holding. The candle from yesterday that printed that doji candle, it just seems to be holding right above that. Let me open this one click here. This low right here, that is February 23rd, that low. So it seems like even though price went lower, technically, you can see what's going on here with this downtrend line. It sort of stopped right around that range, but the candle held above that price swing low. And this is what I would be looking for if I was setting up my charts for a possible IMP bull crown pattern. I would want to see the center tip of the crown, the left tip of the crown, and then I would be waiting for the right. I don't have that yet. It could move up and then pull back down and then drop and go back up. The timing here, as far as the number of candles, this is different. This is very different than what I'm going to show you here in a moment on the 4-hour chart. So I don't have, again, enough candle data here to justify this being the high. But you can see that even if it pulls back to the 618, and this is why I'm saying I'm not going long just yet, this thing could still pull back down to about the 130.30 area, 130.20 area, and then bounce. And we could see a strong daily candle. So that might take a couple of days. I don't know just yet. I just want you to see what's lining up here and what I'm anticipating. But it doesn't mean that word anticipate. It's just that I'm sort of thinking forward. I'm not going to try and get into a trade until I have confirmation. So if we go over here to the 4-hour chart, you can see how things look a little bit different. This is the 4-hour chart, and here I have a clear A low, a B high, and then that pullback to the 382. This is one of the reasons why for short term, and you can see what it did here, that candle a few, maybe 4 or 5 candles back, bounced right off of that down trend line on the top of it. So this could be a strong move over the next 4 to 8 hours, but then pull back down later on. Remember, this is a 4-hour chart, and then come back down. So even if we get a bullish 4-hour candle, I don't know that it's going to go with any velocity or volume and a lot of force to the 133.50 area or something like that. I still think that we might see a bit of choppy behavior here. So we might see a bullish candle and then another retest down here of some of these support lows and then a bounce later, which would correspond to what I was talking about here. This is a 4-hour chart. That would correlate all here to what I'm anticipating on the daily time frame. This is a daily time frame now. And then at that point, I would have enough data, candle data, to confirm that this would be a significant high right here, yesterday's high. So it's going to take some time, but it is a bit choppy. I mean, you can see the behavior. We're still in an uptrend. This low from a couple hours ago did not take out that previous low, so it's still in an uptrend. It's still possible that we might see a short-term trade. So if I get into a trade and I go long, it's going to be a short-term trade. It's not going to be anything, like I said, where I'm going to be looking at the possibility of trading it back up here to the let's say 133 area. I don't know that that's going to happen Wednesday. I think it'll move, but I think it'll come right back down again. I'm still not too sure. That's just what it looks like. It's still pretty choppy right here. So this is the dollar yen. The dollar yen's reacted, as you can see, over the last couple of hours to some news that hit the internet, and it reacted. I still think that we're going to get both sides of this. We're going to get those some political comments and commentary and speculation, and we've got some things going on that are pretty significant. I think is part of the reason why we're seeing price being slapped around like this. This is just really, really choppy here. But overall, we've got last week's low over here to the left at 105.25 area approximately, and then this week's high right here at 106.50. So this is my overall consolidation range. I don't know that it's going to break out of this range on Wednesday. If it does, hopefully it will give me a solid breakout candle that I can trade off of. This is the 1-hour chart for the dollar yen. But right now, as choppy as it is, I'm not. I could see that it would move up a little bit more and then come back down, test its low. I mean, anything can happen, or roll right back up and try to knock out that high, and I'll end up having to make an adjustment to that resistance level up there. But it's just too choppy at this point for me to trade unless it's like really small scalping short-term opportunities. 4-hour chart, pretty much the same thing. I mean, if I look at this range right here, this is a bit choppy. Leaving that price swing low right here, this is a 4-hour chart for the dollar yen. That price swing low right here was February 16th. That support level is now where price is finding some support, but I don't know if that's going to be significant enough to see price bounce and take off and take out the highs from March 3rd. Sorry, 6th, earlier today. That would have been right at the start, I think, start of the day yesterday. Anyway, and I'm reflecting back on that this is now the start of the Asian session and looking back on Tuesday's trading session is what I'm talking about. Daily time frame, we talked about this for the last few days. Be aware of this price swing low here on the daily time frame. This was February 16th. These candles are still holding at this support low here, and it's just getting really choppy in here. So I don't have a clear direction just yet. I can see where the pressure is. So if I was to take that high, that bounce, and that approximate 50% retracement level, let me open this up so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to move the crosshairs to these levels that I'm talking about. So if we take this support low here and this high right here, and we call this a new range of consolidation right here, for the last few days, price is sitting down here at support. So with that T3 pattern that I talk about in my membership course, trading course, when I see a consolidation range like this and I see price spending a lot of time at either support or resistance, drawing a line right through the middle of that consolidation range helps me get a better visual perspective of what's going on here. And noticing that price is sitting down here. It looks like it's going to bounce, but price is still holding down around this support level. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I don't know yet. But very often what happens in a situation like that is that if it isn't going to bounce and there's just not enough participation, not enough data to support price moving back up, and the development of all of this political and economic data that we're waiting for to see if it's going to cause a bounce, if that's not enough, then it'll push right through. Sorry about that. It'll push right through and end up moving lower. And then I would tighten up the charts here and maybe go to, well, we can look at a weekly chart. And you can see where it could possibly head down here to another level of support below the 101. I'm not saying that it's going to 101. I don't know that yet. All I'm saying is that here on the daily time frame, price is sitting and right on top of that support level. And we really haven't had a significant move away from it. A few days ago, we had that strong bullish move. It looked like there was going to be some follow through, but it rolled right back down again. So again, we're just going to have to wait. I just have to wait. I don't know. I'm on hold on quite a few of these currency pairs. I'm just waiting for more information before I try to get into these trades. Just before I stop this update, I want to go through this Bitcoin dollar trade here. It's the 1 hour time frame. I still think that 97.67 or 97.80 area, well, maybe even the 9800, 99, right around the 9900 level. I mean, this is just like a pocket or a range of support running right through here. So I can't say the specific number, or like a definite number that it's going to drop to. It might even take out that low. I mean, that price target there at 97.67. But I still think that this is the area that it's going to continue to drop to. It's been sort of choppy in here, but after that breakout and this move lower, this downtrend is still intact. We're making lower lows, lower highs until it flips back over and takes out maybe that price swing high there that retested that support level that it broke out of. I'm not convinced that this move to the downside is over with just yet. So I still think we could probably see more downside to this. As it comes down here and starts to approach the 99.50 or the 9900 level, you got to be careful. You could see a bounce here. We could potentially see a bounce right around that range. But this is like a range or a pocket of support running right through here. And yeah, I still think it's going to come down here and approach the 9900 level and maybe even lower. And then, like I said, as it approaches that level, we'll reevaluate again and then see if there's something on the larger time frames, the 4 hour or the daily chart, that would support us trading it even, beyond where it takes out the low down here. What is that low? 9100. So we'll look at it once it approaches this, if and when it approaches the 9900 level. But 9900, 97, that's not out of the question from that breakout trade down there at support. Anyway, so let's be really careful on these the dollar. So I'm going to take a quick look at the dollar. So this is what I was talking about this morning in the chat room. The dollar index here. This is the 1 hour time frame, and this is the area that's really bothering me. I mean, it's not closing below support with any conviction. There's just not a whole lot of follow through here. Even when it closes and prints, and I know I have it tightened up. I just want you to see that I'm going back to last week's support low. But here, these candles, they're not really doing anything. It's just slowly pushing lower. It might continue to drop. If we look at the larger time frames, it might continue to slide lower. But I can't rule out, what's bothering me is I can't rule out the possibility of price spiking up one more time and then dropping back down. So if I'm going to, trade this and look for these trades on with the majors, I want things to sort of correlate and line up, with confirmation here on the dollar. Let me take a look at the larger time frames here. So here we're looking at the dollar index daily time frame. So this is that overall range of consolidation, sitting right down here at that support low from February 26th. Same thing on the 4 hour chart. It's just sitting here. It's not, we've got to wait for something to happen off of this support level. It's either going to break and continue lower, or it's going to bounce. But overall, I mean, price right now here on the dollar index daily time frame, it's stuck right in the middle of this range. So that's, I think, a lot of the confusion and why things are sort of moving the way they are. Technically, you can see it here. I mean, you can see where things are stalling and there's not, a significant push in any one direction. But when it happens, when it breaks, I'll definitely do another update, and I'm going to try and trade it, but I'm just going to have to wait for right now.